Good morning, everybody. This is Carly Bell with Vitality Forever. I am here at Toscana Country Club, Zenergia Health Club and Spa, and I am your corrective exercise specialist as well as neurodegenerative specialist. Today's discussion is on the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff, as well as the shoulder girdle complex in its entirety, is one of the most inherently cool joints of the body. It actually has the ability to move in 19 different ways. But because of that extreme ability, it also makes it a little bit weaker. Now, one of the first things that you can do to sustain greater strength and integrity within the shoulder girdle complex is to remain in proper posture. And what I mean by that is when you're standing, when you're sitting, when you're walking, or just simply talking to your friends, stand with your feet hip-width distance apart. Put down equal pressure through the foot, in each foot, that is. Draw the thigh muscles into the bone, squeeze the glutes, elevate through the core, round the shoulders back so the chest is lifted, and then keep the head over top of the spine. You'll also notice that you want your hands to lay beside your thighs and not in front of your thighs. And starting off with this posture, which is the beginning and ending in all movement that you do, is absolutely paramount for longevity of all of our joints, not just the shoulder. One of the things I also recommend is that you double check what you feel is correct in the mirror, because oftentimes what we see and what we feel don't often line up. Check yourself to see if you're shifted to one side, if your shoulders are sloped forward, if your hands are resting in front of your thighs. All of that stuff is telling you that you're stressing your joints. So again, line up, be true, be honest, and then be consistent with it. Well, back to the shoulder specifically, and the rotator cuff. Every human being needs to have a regular, regimented, caretaking movement practice for their shoulder girdle complex. And that is because, again, it has those 19 different ways of moving which can make it weak. And it's the most operated joint in the body. So we're going to start off with some simple stretches, and then we're going to begin to do some neural activations, and then a couple exercises. The truth is, do one stretch, do one neural activation, and then one exercise a few times a week, which will only take you a few minutes to maintain a healthy shoulder girdle complex. So let's begin. I'm going to use a dowel rod. You can use a strap, and if you don't have a strap, you may also use a dog leash. So use what you can at home. Now to begin, as I'm going to grab my dowel rod, we're going to start off nice and gentle here. I'm going to put it out in front of me. As I place it out in front of me, I'm going to twist and let my arm cross over the body, allowing the subscapularis, that's the muscle that's underneath of the scapular blade, to stretch open because the scapular blade is winging out. Return back to center after you've held it there for about 10 seconds, and then repeat the action again, trying to get over farther and farther in a smooth movement about 5 times. And you might even notice that you're able to bend into it a little bit more. 2, last one, and 1. Other side for good measure, just so we're level and equal. I'm going to start off, my hand is at the top of the dowel rod. I'm going to twist into it and hold the stretch. Feel like I'm almost rounding through the upper thoracic. The scapular blade is going to wing out away from the ribs, and you're stretching through that space. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 5 repetitions, smooth, and maybe stretching into it more deeply with every rep. Beautiful. 4 and 5. Very good. Okay, so now I'm going to take the dowel rod or a strap, whatever you have at home is absolutely fine. And we're going to begin to stretch in through the pectorals, so the front of the body. The chest muscle, when it's really tight, it pulls you in a rounded state, which stresses the rotator cuff and makes it weaker. So So we need to have a regular routine practice of opening up the pectorals, specifically the pec minor. Here we go. You're gonna let the strap or the dowel rod reach up overhead, and then it's gonna pass behind you. You don't have to linger in the place that's sticky for too long in the first few passovers. You may notice, if you've had prior rotator cuff issues, that your arms kind of look like this and they're not quite able to get over. Instead, just lengthen them out farther and see how wide you need to be to pass it over. If you're dealing with a current impingement and it's too difficult to raise your arm up, then don't. Let pain be your guide and stop yourself before you go into pain. But for those that feel safe and you're in your routine maintenance, continue on the passovers. Now, I'm going to shorten it up after I've done that a few times, so the distance between my hands is less. Bring it up overhead, let it pass behind, and hold it. When I pass behind, I'm now going to pull apart on the dowel rod or the strap for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it back over. Lift it up. Repeat that same action on your own. The third or second, actually, of these overhead passes is the one with the bent elbow. So here, you're going to feel like you're almost doing a back exercise. The scapular blades are going to go into a downward retraction. The chest is going to lift up high, and you're going to pull it up. Hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Okay. So I'm not going to change the camera, but I am going to tell you that sometimes you might have some accessibility if you like to walk your hands up a wall. So a wall walk is where you line your feet and your chest up against the wall, and you slowly, one handprint at a time, creep your hands up. When you get to the maximum place at which you can stretch, you then lean into it and drop your chest. A child's pose is something similar as well. And again, after you're just starting with your stretches, you want to stay at about a 7 or an 8 and not a 9 or a 10. Your body will be more receptive to releasing versus restricting itself because it feels like it's in survival. Okay, last of the stretches, because if lifting up your arm over your head is just impossible, here's a good one. You're going to take the dowel rod or the strap behind you. From this position, it's actually going to come up. And my top hand is going to pull the bottom one up. And you'll feel this across the supraspinatus. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good job. Ready for the activations? So, really simply, when we're thinking about neurocentric training, which is the way that most trainers are adopting, it's about understanding that the nerves really help control your muscle activation. And the truth is that we want to be in charge of our bodies and not let them just literally run amok and do their own thing. So that takes some actual focus. Here we go. With focused energy, reach your arms up. You're going to align your elbows at the same height as your shoulder. Take your hands and place them in a strong fist. From this position, roll up and just hold. Squeeze together your scapular blades as much as possible. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. We will repeat that again. Now when you do it, you're going to really work hard, meaning that you're going to contract all of the arm muscles. You're going to squeeze tight with the hands, and you're going to give it all you got. Ready, set, and go. I'm gonna now do this 30 times, consciously trying to feel a burn. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, good morning, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. I would say do those rotations at least about 30 to 50 times to help build heat and circulation within the rotator cuff quadrant. The next thing we're going to do, if you have either tiny weights at home or if you have a can of soup, which weighs about usually a pound, is we're going to do our open door exercise. So you're again going to hold your arms at a 90-degree angle. Elbows are going to lock in at your side, and then you're going to swing the can of soup open or the little weights open. And here we go. We're going to rotate it out, and you'll do this for about, again, 30 to 50 repetitions. Let that go. And the last rotator cuff exercise that we're going to do together today is with the band. And when you're coming with the band, you're going to essentially just hold the band like so, let it attach to something, and then extend it out. Repeating that 30 to 50 times. So these are some simple suggestions. Pick one stretch to do consistently. Pick one neural activation to do consistently, and then pick one of the resistance exercises to do consistently. And that consistent action will really prevent an injury from happening within the shoulder girdle complex. You've got to keep those healthy shoulders, because oftentimes after surgery there's only a 30% improvement. It's up to you to do the job and the homework, being proactive versus reactive. That's it for now. Again, this is Carly Bell with Vitality Forever at Toscana Country Club and at Zenergy Health Club and Spa, as well as the Palm Desert Civic Center. If you need me in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. And that's it for now. Bye-bye.